it's Mickey and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I am so excited for this video because I've been trying to convince my boyfriend, this is my boyfriend, Sammy, to do this for a couple months now. Sit down and film this video with me, and I thought it'd be really fun. So today the video we're going to film is my boyfriend tries reading Harry Potter for the first time. And we're not going to sit here and read the whole book. My goal with this is for him to read a couple chapters because he has never read Harry Potter. And he has very minimal experience with Harry Potter besides the movies. So I'm very interested to see how his views would be in the book versus watching the movie, if he would like the books, if he would want to continue reading the books. And I'm going to sit down alongside him and read as well, and I'm gonna read the illustrated edition because I'm a Harry Potter apprentice. I have read Harry Potter not as much as some people. I've read it twice now, both times as an adult pretty much. So I get to read the pretty illustrated edition, and Sammy gets to read the actual novel because I told him. He tried to get the picture book, but I told him no. He has to read the actual novel for his first time. He can look over and look at my pictures. But this is my first time reading these, so I'm actually really excited. So, as I explained before, I've read Harry Potter twice before. Loved it both times. Loved it more the second time. I grew up with the movies as a kid, so I've seen the movies several times. At least the first 5. 6 through, technically, 8. So 7 part 2. I've seen a couple times here and there. I love the series. For trip last year, Sammy took us to Universal in California, and it was absolutely magical. Just to show you guys how deep my love for Harry Potter goes, we have a cat. Her name is Luna Lovegood. I have Luna Lovegood's wand. Our entertainment center, as you guys saw in my intro, is Harry Potter themed. I have 2 sets of the books. The set that he's reading and he purchased for me, and then I have this set.
Now I also purchased.
Yeah, that he also purchased. Good. I would like to make the disclaimer that since J.K. Rowling's very transphobic tweets have come out, we have not purchased. Already had these editions before she made those ugly tweets. So no money went to J.K. Rowling in the making of this video. I just want you guys to know that I do not support her. While I do still love the series and I will continue to read the series and enjoy it, I don't condone what she did. What is your experience with Harry Potter, Sammy?
Well, I just remember in school reading Sorcerer's Stone, and that's about as much as it goes for the books.
What grade was that?
I believe it was 5th grade. I believe it was 5th grade I read them, right before we met each other in middle school. And after that, I never finished Chamber of Secrets. And whenever we got together is when I got back into it, and we watched all the movies together because you told me how much you loved the series.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys peeked, but we have matching Harry Potter pajamas on.
Yes.
And just before we get started reading, and like I said, we're going to have 2 or 3 chapters, just because you guys know if you've read Harry Potter, the chapters are quite long. I just wonder if you guys can guess, like, what houses we are, just based off of our energy. Give you guys a couple seconds to do that. Okay, Sammy, what's your house?
Hufflepuff.
What's my house?
Gryffindor.
Yes, I'm a proud Gryffindor, and if you guys saw our Christmas tree, I can change the lights. Unfortunately, I couldn't find red and gold, so I had to settle for red and white, but I am Gryffindor. I've taken the test 5 times. I get Gryffindor every single time. Sammy is a Hufflepuff.
Yeah, and I am a Hufflepuff.
So
I've taken the test multiple times, and I've gotten Ravenclaw before, but she thinks that I'm Hufflepuff through and through.
he's too much of a big teddy bear. So, enough talking from us. We're about to get reading. So you guys know, it is like 1:40 in the morning. So I would typically make butterbeer. I've made it a few times and Sammy loves it. I love it. But I don't feel like making it right now. And I've cooked a lot today, so I'm kind of like over cleaning my kitchen. So I hope you guys can settle for cream soda. It tastes very similar to the recipe.
Butterbeer in the next one, though.
He's getting confident. We're gonna get reading now, and we're gonna check in after the first chapter and see how Sammy's feeling. So we ended up reading through all the way through chapter 2, which is about 30 pages. We were planning to read one more, but it's 2:30 and we're both pretty tired. It's been kind of a long day. So, what are you thinking, Sammy? What did you notice upon reading?
I mean, there was a couple different things. The first thing I noticed is in the movies, it doesn't necessarily show how all the wizards celebrated when finding out Voldemort
At
was...
the beginning of chapter 1.
Yeah, at the beginning of chapter 1, it was talking about how Mr. Dursley was seeing all these... He's basically seeing all these wizards celebrating in the streets because Voldemort's dead. And in the movies, it just kind of cuts to Dumbledore on Privet Street.
Right. Yeah, so there's a lot more in chapter 1. I kind of noticed that too because we've watched the movies a lot more recently than I've read the book. So there's a lot more exposition in chapter 1. I realized, like Sammy said, this movie does start with Dumbledore apparating on Privet Drive and him using the Deluminator to take out all the lights and having a discussion with McGonagall.
What was it called, though?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So I find it interesting to figure out how much world building that J.K. Rowling actually had figured out from, like, book 1. This is such an interesting and little point, but, like, she didn't have the name of the tool that Dumbledore uses to put out the lights, which we find out in the later movies and later books that it's called the Deluminator. But she calls it the put-outer in chapter 1, so it's kind of interesting that she didn't have the name for it fleshed out, or maybe she didn't even plan on using it again. Something else I found really interesting, I don't know if you picked up on this any at all. Oh, there's a very long conversation between McGonagall and Dumbledore before the actual leaving of Harry on the Dursley's doorstep. She seems a lot more fearful and insecure and less confident than she comes across in the films, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because, I mean, she did say in the first chapter...
And we're not trying to spoil anything at all.
Yeah, I mean, she did say that she didn't think that all these wizards celebrating should be so confident that... You know,
yeah, and you can just tell that she is very scared. Well, like, she's always confident in herself, and she's always strong and willing to put anybody in their place. And, like, she was terrified during that conversation.
That's one other thing I noticed is, like, how I was saying in the movies it didn't really give a lot of backstory. They said that they had been dealing with him for 11 years. So, I mean, that was 11 years of his reign, I guess you could say, before Harry was even born.
True.
So, to think that, I mean, he took 11 years from these people, you know, terrorizing them, and then he comes back later on. I mean, that I never got from the movies. I didn't know that he was such a problem for someone.
So, kind of like what you're saying is, like, you don't feel like you got the whole
picture,
backstory, and like the details of how deep this world really goes.
Yeah, because like in the movies, you know, like, spoiler alert, like, it's Tom Riddle.
It's kind of like what we thought about chapter 1. Chapter 2 was kind of interesting because there are things that, reading this again, I don't know if you picked up on it, but there were things that I didn't realize about Harry. Like, I feel like in the movies, he is very insecure about his scar. Like, he's not trying to show his scar.
Yeah, it did
Like-
say that he was proud.
Yeah, he's proud of it. What it says is it's the only thing that he likes about himself is his scar.
Yeah.
And, like, in the movies, I feel like it's kind of like the opposite. Like, he's known for his scar, but he doesn't want this fame. So he's always constantly kind of trying to cover his forehead and stuff. And I find it really interesting that he's proud of it. It always strikes me, like, how actually trash the Dursleys are. They're horrible people. They talk about him like he's not even in the room, like he's not even there. And, like, they talk to him like a thing, talk about him like a thing. And basically there's this situation where the Dursleys are Harry Potter's uncle and aunt, who take guardianship of him after his parents passing. And that's not, like, a spoiler or anything. I mean, it happens in the first couple pages. There's an incident where Dudley's their son, so Harry's cousin, has a birthday outing, I should say. Mm-hmm. And every single time that Dudley has a birthday outing, they don't let Harry go.
They leave him behind.
They leave him with Mrs. Figs to, like, babysit him. Like, they don't let him go. So they allow him to go to the zoo with Dudley because they basically can't figure out, like, what to do with him. They can't leave him on anybody because nobody likes him.
And that's another thing is in the movies it never talked about his friend. Is it Piers?
Yeah. Dudley does have a friend that goes with him to the zoo. Like, if you've seen the movies or read the books, like the famous vanishing glass scene at the zoo with the snake. The first time Harry speaks parcel tongue, which is not in the chapter.
Yeah, that is true.
And now that I realize, I literally just made that connection. Like, in the movie, he's speaking parcel tongue. Like, the viewer can see and hear that he's speaking parcel tongue. That's not clear in chapter 2.
Like, he can
understand the snake,
yeah.
But he's like, did I just hear the snake say that? Like, he's like, nah. But, like, in the movie, like, he's very clearly speaking to the snake. I don't think that Harry realizes that he's speaking to the snake in the movie.
Yeah,
but the viewer does. The viewer knows.
And, like, when the glass vanishes, both Dudley and Piers fall in. And that, like we were saying, that doesn't happen.
Actually, I don't think they fall in.
Oh, in the book?
No, I don't think they fall in. Like I said, Camera died. So, like we were saying, glass, I don't think that Pierce and Dudley fall in. What I think happens is they push Harry out of the way, the glass disappears, and the snake gets out, and the snake kind of chases them through the reptile house and kind of nips at their feet.
Yeah, it was never made clear.
Yeah, I think that in the movie, having Dudley fall into the tank and then having the glass reappear was kind of like fan service. Like, I think it kind of added more entertainment and more comedy to it. And I agree, you know. But, like, Sammy made a point about the snake talking Spanish.
Oh, yeah, because Harry asked him, like, where he was from, and he said Brazil. And whenever the glass disappeared and he was, like, slithering away, he said, like, thanks, amigo.
Yeah,
I was like, in the movie he doesn't speak Spanish.
Yeah, but, like, what I was going to point out is, like, there's this incident, like, before all this happens, where they enter the zoo. Petunia and Vernon Dursley, aunt and uncle, and then Dudley, their son, and then Pierce, his best friend, and then Harry, they all enter the zoo. And Petunia and Vernon buy Pierce and Dudley a huge ice cream for each of them. And they're just going to walk away without buying Harry anything. Stop and get, like, a large chocolate ice cream cone for Pierce and Dudley. And they're going to walk away without getting Harry anything. But the lady that is giving out the ice cream, like, looks at him and smiles. And she's like, what will you have? Like, what do you want? Because they were just going to walk away without getting him anything. And the lady was like, oh, what will you have? Like, and they got him like a cheap lemon ice cream, like a lemon popsicle.
Yeah.
That's what they got him. And he was like, it was so good because he just doesn't know, you know, like they don't give him stuff like that. And it's really sad, actually. I guess it just kind of slipped my mind that Harry goes to like real school.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I just never like kind of thought about him like that.
I always thought maybe they either didn't allow him to go to school or
Yeah,
like
because nobody knows about him.
Mhm.
So like, I guess it kind of slipped my mind that, and I'm sorry, I'm like overanalyzing the first 2 chapters of this like so much, but I'm an English major. I major in literature. That's what I do. So I analyze everything I read. So I just find it so interesting, his dynamic at school. He has no friends at school. Like, people make so much fun of him because the Dursleys won't buy him any clothes, so he has to wear Dudley's hand-me-downs, and Dudley's a bigger boy. So the clothes are really big on him, and then they won't buy him new glasses because apparently Dudley keeps punching him in the face and breaking his glasses. It's kind of interesting, me reading this. I'm seeing a lot more than I saw or made use out of before. So overall, what are your thoughts on the text?
Well, like I said, I mean, I've read Sorcerer's Stone before, but honestly, I think it's better the second time around so far, just because I feel like watching the movies, there's pros and cons, but the major pro is having visuals to the story.
So
like
you think watching the movies helped you?
I think watching the movies help visualize certain characters, even though they're not exactly how they're described in the books. I think it helps, you know, kind of build the world in your imagination, as far as, you know, what Privet Street looks like.
Something else I realized is they actually did go into the geography of where they are.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't tell you like where they are, but I can tell you that they're around Kent, Yorkshire, and Dundee.
Yeah.
Like, that's something I never realized. I knew they were in England somewhere. I just didn't know where.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. So you're enjoying it.
Yeah, so far so good, and I'm excited to keep on reading.
So he's gonna keep on reading is the verdict.
Yes.
So I think, was this video successful?
I think so, yeah. You could call it successful because I want to finish this book and finally get around to Chamber of Secrets. So
I do agree with you though. Like, I'm very much a person where I want to read the book before I watch an adaptation of it, just because I know the original source before I compare it to something else. But in this case, I do think that there is advantage to watching the movies, because if y'all know, and especially in Half-Blood Prince, there is so much good stuff cut out.
yeah, see, and like I really won't know until we get to that
Yeah.
point.
So it's kind of like, it's like reading the same story, but reading it in a more whole way. And you know, there is so many good scenes cut out of this series in the movies, just because there's so much substance and there's no way that they do it justice. Because you know, I mean, some of them are 800-page books. So I am really happy that you're enjoying this, because this is one of my favorites. I absolutely love going back into this world. And the artwork in here, y'all, this page is gorgeous with the owl. That's not Hedwig, it's just an owl. And then this page, I love the muted color. Like, it's not like vibrant in your face. It's like a muted, washed out color. And this is a completely different reading experience for me.
That's what I was gonna say. Is
Like-
like if I didn't have the movie advantage, I think I'd like to read like the story like that. Just because for me, I'm somebody who enjoys visuals when reading a story.
And y'all, he's not a reader.
Yeah.
So like, I'm so happy to hear that he's like, and like I said, I had to push and prod him like, please film this video with me, because he wanted to read the series. So
yeah,
I'm so excited to continue reading this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would be so grateful if you would hit the like button and subscribe. That would be like awesome. But anyways, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Peace.